Welcome to Pantherranters podcast. Kick back and enjoy news, topics, and more for your Panthers. With your host, Andrew, and co-hosts, Michael.
All right, everybody. Welcome back to episode 10. We've been going for 10 weeks now. Kind of a small milestone. Obviously, there will be bigger milestones, but just a great to hit the first, thing for our channel. But everybody, welcome. We got some good things to talk about. Probably going to be one of the better episodes if it doesn't run 4 hours, but we'll split it up if it does. And again, just thank you guys for joining in, and let's get right into it. Michael, Logan, welcome back. How are you guys doing tonight? We're episode 10. We've been doing it for 10 weeks. Like I said in the beginning, it's kind of a milestone for us.
Yeah, man, doing great. Super excited to get into these game predictions. A lot of really pivotal year. I'm excited to see how we feed into that.
Yeah, absolutely.
You guys know why I'm doing great?
Because you're eating breakfast at 11:05 at night.
Well, that. But Bryce Young is a top 100 player in football.
Absolutely. Props.
According to his peers.
That's right. So screw all you
not
Twitter
according
guys.
to Dan Orlovsky, not according to, the President of the United States, not according to me. His fellow NFL peers have voted him a top 100 player in football.
One thing I definitely did not expect. Knew he probably could have, but like from Panthers fans, but actually thinking he was going to break the top 100, I didn't see it coming.
I didn't think he would. I probably wouldn't have voted for him if I had to do a top 100.
But
and for the record, too, only about 16, I looked this up earlier today, only about 16 quarterbacks make the top 100 on a yearly basis.
Wow.
So for Bryce to make it, is a pretty impressive feat.
Yeah, so for all you Bryce-ophobic haters on Twitter.
Yeah, all you Saints fans, all you Falcons cockroaches who are constantly dogging him.
And Bears fans, and Texans fans.
Well, Texans fans. Bears fans, Caleb Williams is probably going to be 40, so I'm not going to talk too much there, but everyone else, you guys can suck it.
Yep.
That's great. So we should have, real quick, we'll kind of just touch this for a real second. How many players on the Panthers should be in the top 100? I'm going to say 5.
I think we'll get, I don't know about 5. I think 5 will be much. Yeah, I think we'll see 3 more. I think Derek Brown will make it. I think Devin Lloyd will make it. And I think J.C. Horn will make it. Damian Lewis probably should make it. And Taylor Moton, too. I don't think they will, but they should. But linemen are... unless you play for, the Eagles or someone who's consistently, pushing out a great run game, your offensive line is just not going to get attention. And I think that's going to be...
Yeah, I was going to say T-Mac, Horn, Derek Brown, and Bryce. That was 4, so I would say a 5th.
Yeah, I guess I forgot about Bryce. Yeah. I didn't even listen.
If you count Lloyd, I would say 5. But I'm saying from just
3 more,
just our team from last year. That would be the 4 I would go with.
We'll see about T-Mac. I'm curious to see what they do with him.
Yeah, I think he's getting there. It was a really great rookie season, but you got to remember there's a lot of great receivers in the NFL. We'll see if he can take the next jump.
There definitely is. So, that's pretty much, besides our main topic today of the schedule, that's pretty much as far as Panthers news goes that's been out. Obviously, I think we touched on this last week. Jalen Coker got extended. OTAs are coming up, I believe. It's 29 or 30 days away until mandatory, training camp starts. So we're only a few weeks away from that. But so to hop right into it, me, Michael, and Logan, we all went through a schedule. We picked our first official schedule prediction. We'll probably do it maybe once, maybe 2 more times before the season actually starts because things change with teams and everything. We're gonna go week by week. Give a little quick snippet of how we think the game can go and maybe why we think we lose or win that game and see what our record is. And like I said in the beginning, if it does go too long, we'll split this up into 2 episodes. But hopefully we don't run into 12:30, 1 o'clock at night talking about our schedule. So who would like to start us off? I would like to hear what you guys say about week 1.
Well, are we going to talk about just season expectations first and kind of what we think of the roster overall?
Yeah, we'll start with that. That's perfect. So Yeah, Michael, if you want to start us off, that'd be perfect.
Yeah, sure. So, as far as season expectations, I'm not going to go crazy and say that we need to, make the NFC Championship or anything. I think the two big goals right now are one, win the division again, and two, finish the year with a winning record. If you accomplish both those things, I think you are fine, going into year three. The reason I'm saying a playoff win is not like a top goal yet is simply because of how stacked the NFC is. I mean, there are so many veteran teams in the NFC right now that expecting the Panthers to go out and like beat the Seahawks or beat the Rams or even beat like the 49ers in a playoff setting, I think that's just a little bit lofty right now. Obviously we'll see how the season goes, but those are kind of my expectations. I'll talk about the roster in a second, but I'll let someone else go first.
Go ahead,
Okay, so yeah, I mean, I would echo a lot of that stuff. I mean, honestly, for me, I don't really have a set in stone, like singular thing we need to accomplish. I want us to be around the top dogs in the NFC. I don't know what that looks like if we have a really great regular season record, if we make noise in the playoffs, but I don't want us to be little brothers to these guys anymore. I mean, this is a really tough schedule. We're going to be scratching and clawing week after week here. So, we'll get into what our actual win totals are. It might not be totally representative of what you would think a team, hopefully as good as we are, would look like. But if we come out at the end of this year thinking, all right, we're now one of the good teams in the NFC, I would be happy with it. Super Bowl
Agreed.
expectations, to have expectations. It's just really hard to put out there with how stacked that the NFC as a whole is right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say for me, my expectations is kind of what Michael said, but I'm gonna throw one more thing on it. A winning record. I don't see us getting into the playoffs if we don't win the division, so I'm going to say win a division, and I would like to see one playoff win. Obviously, we're not Super Bowl contenders yet, but if we win a division, we should have a home playoff game. So I think that helps a little bit. So depending on, I mean, we've seen us play in the Rams how close that game was. If you can sneak a playoff win, I think that would be great. I'm kind of going with Michael on the first two things. Get to the playoffs and have a winning record. I think that's a plus, and that kind of at least meets what you did last year. But I think the playoff win would completely boost us into next year. And like Logan said, I think it's a tough schedule, but the whole division has to play it. So it's not like we're the only ones playing tough teams and they got a cakewalk of a schedule. So I would like to see a playoff win. I'm with Michael on the first two things for sure, but a playoff win I think would completely set it off. And then anything over one playoff win is just way extra to me. It's great, don't get me wrong. Super Bowl would be awesome, but
how do you guys feel about the talent on the roster?
I think across the board we're pretty good. And when people ask me this, I have this conversation with like actual football fans all the time. When people ask me about the Panthers, I'm like, across the board, very level talent. I think we've got good players at every position. The only position that I see is secondary safety. I think Morg's great, and this just might be me hating on Nick Scott, but I think second. I think
haven't talked about Nick Scott in a while.
I think secondary safety. Yeah, it's not. Nick Scott's not a terrible starter. Like if he's your worst player, it's fine. But I mean that could be upgraded, and we have a rookie that Mike can push for it, and we have Ransom. So I mean again, if Nick Scott's your worst starter on defense, I think everybody else around you's pretty good. But that's how I see it.
Yeah, no, I mean.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry, man. Sorry, dude. I was just going to jump in and say that I feel great about the defense. And I'm a little bit more cautiously optimistic about the offense. That's a whole other thing, though. So I'd like to hear what you were going to say about Andrew's comments.
No, I was just going to say, I think it's the best roster we've had on paper since 2015.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think... Yeah, there's
I think this team is better than the 2017 team that went 11-5 and made the wild card on paper. I think this team is better than the 2018 squad that missed the playoffs at 7-9, and really the year that had a bunch of all like the aging or like super young players who were kind of just up and coming in 2018. Yeah, I think they're better than the 2022 team that went 7-10 with Sam Darnold. Yeah, like I said, best team that we've had on paper since the Super Bowl year, in my opinion.
Definitely more well-rounded.
Yeah, definitely more well-rounded.
When Cam, and like you said in 2017, that team was led by stars, and then that was, you had role players. This team, I wouldn't say we have superstars, but you have good players at almost every single position on the team.
Yeah, and that 2017 squad honestly had no business getting 11 wins.
Yeah, definitely.
That team's receiving core. Yeah, that team's receiving core was led by a one-armed Devin Funchess, Demir Bird, and Brenton Person. That squad was not good. They just had Cam Newton at quarterback, and the best defensive player in football at the time.
Yeah, but yeah, lots of talent all over on both sides of the ball this time.
Absolutely.
Yeah, this squad I think is pretty good. And Logan, what you were saying about the offense, I still don't think the weapons are out of worldly. But at the same time, it's still a very young group that I think can get better as the years go on.
Yeah, I think that's fair for sure. So I just think
and the running back room is a question.
Yeah, that's the thing for me. It's on paper, I really like where the offense is at for a lot of different reasons. But I just look at the results last year, and I know a lot of the time we got what we needed with the offense, but we had a lot of games where we're really just trying to stay above water offensively. Yeah. And we have to see how the play calling gets better. We have to see, if Bryce Young is really that guy that can put up these big games. We have to see if the running game is going to elevate the offense or if it's going to be a weakness, and then we have to see if Coker is going to be on the field the whole time, if our offensive weapons are going to cut it. A lot of this leaves moving towards tight end heavy offenses, and we're kind of going by the beat of our own drum a little bit by not emphasizing that a little bit more. So I like the offense. I think they can do enough, but I am much more bullish on the defense. I love this defense.
Definitely, 100%. All right, you guys ready to talk about our win-loss record for the year? Definitely something I've been looking forward to. I'm ready to see what you guys think. I know it pretty much across the board. I think we're pretty similar. I think we're within a game or two of each other, so probably a lot of the same things. But there's definitely some looking at mine now, and I'll actually start. So obviously, week 1 we play the Bears at home to open the season. I have us winning that game. I think we carry over a lot of, I guess you could say, hype from last season and momentum. I think we come out. I think that game is probably going to be a shootout, though. I think both offenses, that game could end up being 37-34. But I do think we jump out to a win and start the season 1-0. Obviously, Ben Johnson coaches that team really well, so we could see what they bring. It could definitely swing either way, but I do see us opening with a win to start the season.
Yeah, I totally disagree, man. I've talked about this before.
Oof.
I have no confidence in the Panthers to do anything right the first week of the season. I mean, we couldn't even snap the ball right last year.
That's fair.
I'm not going to pick us to go in, even though it's at home, I'm not going to pick us to beat Chicago, who I think is a dang good team the first week of the season. And now I do think we can keep this close. If I were to give an official score prediction right now, I would probably go 24-14. Just because I think the defense can put up a fight in this game. The defense seems to always be ready to go the first week of the year, aside from the New Orleans disaster a few years ago. I just don't think the offense is going to be ready for this. So until they prove otherwise, or unless they look super good in the preseason, I'm not predicting the Panthers to win this game.
I would kind of be there with you on that. I mean, honestly, okay, so this is kind of how I'm going to look at a lot of these games. I think Evero's defense is built to eat up quarterbacks like Caleb Williams that have to play some hero ball, that have a hard time making the correct decision over and over and over and over again. You know, guys that rely on things going downfield before they can dink and dunk it down.
I don't know. Caleb Williams absolutely killed us last time we played him.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But I think our defense is going to be a lot better than we've seen in quite a few years.
The other thing that scares me about this game too is like I really do not like these coaching matchups.
Yeah.
I mean, Dave Canales has notoriously struggled against Dennis Allen, and I do not trust Evero against Ben Johnson.
Yeah, that's a thing. It's. I actually think we match up schematically pretty well against Chicago, but I still have us taking a loss because, I mean, up till now we've just come out flat in the beginning of the season, and I gotta kind of see it to believe it here. And then against such a well-coached team as Chicago, it's hard to predict the win. I mean, because you do have plenty of talent. If we played them mid-season, maybe I'd have it a little bit differently. But for right now, I've got that marked as a loss.
Fair enough. All right. Who wants to start us for week 2?
Okay, so week 2 we play the Falcons.
In Bryce's house.
Yeah, in Bryce's house, yes. I have us winning. I think this is going to be a very hard-fought, tight divisional battle. But I think the Panthers pull it out. The Falcons will still be figuring out quarterback at this point, and they will be without James Pierce under a new regime. So I actually trust the Panthers to be the more organized squad heading in here. And I just feel more confident picking the Panthers than I do the Falcons in this game. Not the best logic in the world. That's kind of what you used to do with the schedule sometimes. But, for all those reasons, I have the Panthers winning.
Cool. Logan?
Yeah, I've got us taking a W as well. I think we're going to be coming in angry after a Chicago game that maybe we thought we could have won. I think, we were actually discussing this a little bit before the pod, but Bryce Young deals with the Ulbrich defense pretty well. A defense that's pretty successful across the league, but has a hard time dealing with Bryce Young. He deals with those heavy blitzes pretty dang great. I am not scared of Tua Tagovailoa even a little bit. I know in theory he's the kind of quarterback that I just mentioned is going to have some success against Evero defense, a timing guy that's comfortable throwing underneath many times over. But there's a reason why I like that approach that Evero takes, in that it's really hard to be threatening as a quarterback if you're not willing to take a lot of NFL aggressive throws. And I think the league is just kind of caught on to Tua just not being able to do that, being really limited in that area.
I also don't think the timing is going to be on point. I also don't think that time will be on point week 2.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Cool.
Absolutely. So I mean, I'd have us taking this win in Atlanta. Yeah.
Perfect. I also have us winning, and really not much to add, so we'll make the Falcons an easy one. I have us winning that game, and I'm just going to ride what you guys say on that one. I mean, like you said, they're not going to be, in sync. Team chemistry is not going to be there just yet, I don't believe either. And, I mean, Bryce loves playing in Atlanta, so what more could you ask for a week 2 game to, from your guys to get back on track, or to start 2-0 from my side. So, week 3.
One more thing I want to say about this game. I want to. This is to Panthers fans in particular. I don't want people to go into the season just automatically expecting that we're going to sweep the Falcons and that we have an ownership card over them. Don't get me wrong. As much as I enjoyed all the photos of Bryce Young holding the Falcons on Father's Day, I don't want people to come in here thinking, oh, we're just going to go 2-0 against the Falcons every year from here on out. We'll talk about this week 18, but I think the most likely outcome is probably a split. And until the Panthers, just prove to us that they are a superior team consistently, I think a split is the most likely outcome here.
Cool. Fair enough. All right. Moving into week 3, we play at Cleveland. Logan, you want to start for this one for us?
Yeah, sure. So this is probably one of the only games on the schedule that I think we probably should win. It's not that Cleveland doesn't have talent, but the quarterback situation is a mess, and their defense is not going to be as imposing without Myles Garrett and Jim Schwartz. It's still going to be a good defense, so you can't write them off. Jared Verse is still a good player. They still have talent peppered all over that roster. Carson Schwessinger, young receivers. But I think they're going to have a weird time trying to figure out how to use Harold Fannin. And, yeah, I'm not totally scared at all with where Deshaun Watson is at in his career or Shadir Sanders. I think we should probably win this one.
Yeah, I wrote if we lose, burn the city down.
Definitely. They're definitely a team that we should not lose to. They have too much controversy on that team. Not enough stability. Again, who knows what quarterback they're going to throw out there. It's probably going to be Sanders. Garrett's gone, so we're not playing against him. So, I mean, they're figuring themselves out. They're starting from square one pretty much again, so should be a pretty easy. I say easy. Nothing's easy in Panthers organization, but should be a win. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, it's also nice that we're catching them in September before it gets cold.
That's right. Could be snowing in Cleveland late in the season. So, week 4, tough matchup. Sunday Night Football, first one in, I believe Michael a few episodes ago said 10 years since we played on Sunday Night Football. I do have this one marked as a loss. I hate it being probably a loss on primetime. I do think this game could be a lot closer than what people are probably going to expect going into this game. I think with our defensive upgrades this year, I think we can, I wouldn't say stop their offense because their offense is still going to be great. I think we can slow it down enough to keep it close for us. Honestly, if we walk out of this game losing by less than a touchdown, I'll be happy. I'll put it at that. I mean, the Lions are a tough team. Obviously, they're coached very well. Dan Campbell always has them ready to play. So, we'll see. Sunday Night Football in Charlotte, though.
Yeah, I really wanted to pick us to win this game, but I just can't do it. I respect the Lions. I respect the talent of the Lions too much to just pick us to beat them here. I think this game will look very much like the Rams playoff game, where the Panthers make it entertaining, but are just kind of outgunned at the end. I will say I do like the fact that this game is outside in Charlotte and not in Detroit. Detroit is known for playing like crap when they go outside. So I do think we have a chance. Like, I don't think we're going to get rolled over or anything. And I think the vibes in Bank of America Stadium will be elite. But out of respect for Detroit, I just cannot pick us to win this game.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yes, it sucks, man. Because we all agree, and to this point, if Michael and I's predictions are right, we will not have won a home game yet. But I've also got this one as a loss. I think the chance to win here is real, because I don't really like Detroit's defense all that much. But I do think that Detroit is a really good team. I don't know if this actually holds up by the numbers, but I think on paper they're a really good team versus man. Jared Goff is smart enough to dissect, confusing pre-snap looks. I think we're going to have a stout run defense, but I think Jahmyr Gibbs' long speed is going to give us some problems. And Amon-Ra St. Brown is, infamous for being able to dissect zone coverage. So that's going to be a problem for us. I think, honestly, for me, I really think that a majority of the games we're going to win this year are going to be through the defense and the offense doing enough. I don't think shootouts are exactly our strong suit. It's not that we can't win them, but you got talent on offense. But that whenever we're looking at a game that looks like it's going to be a shootout, that they can beat our defense and we could beat theirs, I do have us at a little bit of a disadvantage there. So unfortunately, I do have us losing that game, but I would not be surprised at all if we're able to pull an upset.
Yeah. Would be nice to see a win on Sunday Night Football in Bank of America. Would definitely bring.
And it would vibes would be so good heading into the bye.
Oh, absolutely. It would be huge. Speaking of the bye, we come after a bye week after we play the Lions, and we go to Philadelphia to play the Eagles. Michael, how do you think that one's going to go for us?
So I'm sure Eagles fans will not like this, but I have this as a win. It's not so much about the talent on either squad. It's more of the situation surrounding the game. The Eagles at this point they will play in London week 5 while we're on our bye week. So regardless of what happens over there, they're going to be flying across the world that Sunday, coming back to the United States and then playing us like 6 days later. That kind of flight does do a number on you, like, physically and mentally. And I don't think they're going to be at 100% coming into this game while the Panthers are coming off a bye week. So in terms of who's going to be more well-rested and more ready to go, that definitely favors the Panthers. I also just don't think Jalen Hurts is very good, and I don't really trust their offense yet. So I have the Panthers winning. I think the final score will be something like 19-16 or something weird, because I do respect the Eagles' defense. But yeah, Panthers pulled the upset here.
Nice. Logan?
Yeah, wow, so we're pretty much in agreement so far across the board. I mean,
Nice.
look, so I really like the Eagles. Okay, they're probably like my second team, if I can say that. Even though the Panthers are definitely my ride or die. I think that roster that won the Super Bowl, not last year but the year before, was one of the greatest rosters maybe of all time, and most of it is still there. The problem is, you need all parts of that offense to be clicking on all cylinders to cover up Jalen Hurts. I agree. I don't like Jalen Hurts. I think he was great for them then because he was mobile and he has a nice deep ball, but you can throw whatever funky stat at me that you want. You turn on the film, it's obvious. Every offensive coordinator has to adjust to this. He has trouble reading offenses. He has trouble getting the ball out on time. He has trouble making the right read. This Evero defense that doesn't tell you what is going to run pre-snap is going to kill this guy. At least that's what I hope. If the Eagles don't have just the insane raw talent to outgun you, just straight up running a simple ass offense, they're going to have trouble. So, I mean, this is weird for us to, at this point, have potentially had more success on the road than at home, but I do have us taking a win here for that reason. This is going to be a tough one, okay, because the Eagles' defense is still really, really dang good. But I think we can capitalize off some turnovers here.
I just think the Panthers' offense is going to not suck as much as the Eagles' offense in this game.
Yeah, I agree.
And Hurts struggled the last time he played Evero, and that Panthers defense was one of the worst defenses of all time. So, just schematically, he clearly, and this is not just that from that one game, over the course of, his time in the NFL, he has struggled against those kind of Vic Fangio defenses, which is weird because Vic Fangio coaches for the Eagles.
You would think you'd get more adjusted to it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I also have us taking a win here. By the way, we're 4 weeks that we've all picked the same outcome, so we're doing pretty good here. I do have us win this game also. Probably one of the bigger games of the year that we do win. Same thing, and we've talked about this, I think, in 2 episodes before. The Eagles, coming back across the country, coming back, and we're coming freshly off a bye. I think that's going to have a lot to do with it. And the last time we played the Eagles, like you just said, Michael, that defense was definitely not as good as what we have now. And we probably should have won that game when we did play them. So I definitely think we can come in here and sneak away with a win. So far through the year, it looks like we're doing pretty good. And one thing I do want to mention through your guys' record predictions, like Logan said, something that we're not really great at doing is playing on the road in bigger road games. And so far, through what we've predicted, it would be a pretty good away season so far for us. So definitely something that could change, I guess, this year. Going into Week 6, we have another division game. We play Week 7. We have a home game against Tampa Bay. I have us losing this game for reasons why I'll show you later in the schedule prediction. I have us losing this game. It's a division game. Bucks, who knows, honestly, what to expect with them. They could be really good or really bad. But usually, we should have split with them last year. But I do think we're better this year than them, but we'll probably split. So I do want to hear what you guys have to say about this game. This one was kind of iffy for me, honestly.
Yeah, it is a tough game to pick. I had us winning. Yeah. The Bucks, I know they've beaten us more times than not over the last 3 years, but they seem to struggle coming to the bank for whatever reason. Even when the Panthers are a much worse football team, they have struggled in Charlotte, and I think that'll be the case here. As far as what I think of the team, I think the Bucks are not.
Michael?
Fine. I think they still have some major holes on their defense after losing Jamel Dean and losing Levante David. And I also don't know why Todd Bowles still has a job. Or Todd Bowles still has a job. So I have us winning, going to 4-2.
Cool. Logan?
Yeah, I agree. If we're talking about a split, I think on this one, it's a home game. I think you probably do win. I know Baker's had his big games against us. I still think this Evero defense is really built to beat people like Baker Mayfield, and it's a big reason why, I Baker Mayfield gets a lot of praise now. I understand it. He's capable of balling out against anybody and having a big game. And, he's a gunslinger, but I think you throw the right defensive scheme at Baker Mayfield, and you can feel pretty confident that you're going to come out of that game with a good shot to win. And I think that's what our scheme does for us. I think we've gotten a lot better. I think they've gotten maybe a little worse. I think they're pinning a lot of their hopes on a rookie edge rusher. They still got plenty of talent, don't get me wrong, but for a home game here, I do have us taking our first home win and getting on a little bit of a roll.
Nice.
That's the other thing, too. I was 0-2 at home at this point. Like, they're going to want to get a win here.
Yeah.
The other thing that's nice, too, is last year, for all the crap we give Evero, he ran circles around Zach Robinson in both games, I felt like, who now is the offensive coordinator of the Bucs. So, whereas I generally felt like Rizard kind of had the better of him, of Evero, in the two matchups last year, I don't expect that to be the case this year.
Yeah. Yep. So Baker Mayfield is going in with yet another offensive coordinator who just happens to have not done well against Evero. So that's
yep.
That's kind of a double whammy there.
It works out for us.
Yeah.
Going into week 7, we have another primetime
week
game.
8.
So sorry, I completely missed writing down the bye week on here, so all my numbers are one behind. So if I say the wrong week, that's on me. Going into week 8, we have our second primetime game of the year. We are going into Lambeau Field in Green Bay. Michael, how do you see this one going for us?
Does anyone have us winning this? Just out of curiosity.
I do not.
No.
Yeah, no, I don't either. I mean, going to Green Bay in October on a Thursday night, this is the first time the Panthers have played on Thursday night under Canales. Like, that kind of short week is just not going to go well for us.
Yeah.
So, I was going to 4-3.
Yeah. I mean, I know that we were able to take it last year in Green Bay, and I know we were able to hold Parsons to having a real dang quiet game, but I don't know if we can count on that happening again. And I mean, I still think we match up pretty well versus Green Bay. Jordan Love is yet another gunslinger quarterback that I think our defense matches up well against. But Thursday night games are just so brutal for the visiting team. And the Packers have plenty of talent. I think maybe we make some dumb mistakes in this one and the Packers get it.
Yeah,
and I also think they'll be locked in after we upset them last year.
Yeah, that was one thing I was going to bring up. I don't see us beating them in Lambeau back-to-back years. This is definitely a game, like Logan said, I could see us just making... we could probably be in this game, but like Logan said, I could just see us making stupid mistakes through the game. This will be... We actually talked about this before we started. This will be one of the 3 plays that JC has where he has like a stupid pass interference call that we could have had to stop and maybe went back down and tied the game or win the game. This will be one of
I
those
think
games.
This is more going to look like the 49ers game from last year. That's more of what I'm expecting.
I hope not.
I hope not, too. I'll be taking this Friday off at work. Just in preparation for the fallout that's going to happen after this game, good or bad.
But if we win, you can go to work and, rub in everybody's faces.
Okay, so at this point, though, like, if our predictions come true, we will have lost both the primetime games we've gotten up to this point.
Yes. Sadly, yes.
That's going to suck. That would suck.
That's kind of what I expect, to be honest.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So
that's how we keep respected.
We went 0-3 last year.
Yeah. We look good.
No, we look good in the wild card.
Yeah. We
sad
got some respect. See, I mean, the narrative changes so much. I know this is a little side tangent, but the narrative changes so much when you're able to perform on national TV. Like,
I know, yeah.
I feel like we were getting steam last year, and everybody's like, all right, let's go see what the Panthers are all about versus the Niners. We've been hearing all about them. And then we do that, and then all of a sudden, nobody believes in the Panthers. and you can't even blame them, because they just watched that,
Yeah, absolutely. Going into week 9. Week 9. We have a home game against Denver. Logan, how do you see this one going? I think we probably all have the same answer for this one, too. And it just so happens it has to be against Denver.
I'm going for a little bit of a surprise pick, I think, then. I do have us winning this game.
Really?
Damn it, Logan, be different.
Oh, shit. I guess not, then. I guess I'll go see. Yeah, I mean, okay, so Bo Nix, again, I think he is an ascending quarterback. There's a lot of things to like about him. Please don't take this as disrespect, but I think he's still growing into his role as the quarterback in the NFL. He's still young. I think he's still learning when to pull the trigger and when to not. I think the defense is going to give him a lot of trouble. I think our O-line is going to be a pretty dang good pass protecting line this year, and that's going to be pretty big against a Denver defense that relies on a really speedy pass rush. So I have us upsetting, especially because I believe this is a home game as well. So I know this is a big upset. Yeah, it's not going to surprise me if it goes the other way, but I do have us winning this one.
Nice. I do like that. Michael?
I'll let you go first,
Okay.
Andrew. I'm trying to count here.
Trying to count. Got you. So, this game, anytime you see Denver on the Panthers schedule, it just brings back sad memories. This would be nice to have a win. I just don't see it. I think the defense just, I wouldn't say shut us down, but I think they're going to have us pretty tight the whole game. Bo Nix will be coming off of a major injury, but I think by this time of the, if he's 9 weeks in and playing, he should have, got back in his routine and everything. Playing against Pantherranters and the rest of that defense, and honestly, their offense got a little bit better this year. They got Jalen Waddle over there now. I just think it's too tough of a game for us to win. This honestly could be, one of those smaller streaks in the season where we look at the Panthers and Packers and Broncos back to back, and we're kind of almost, even with a winning record, we might be questioning, like, okay, what has the last 2 games showed us? Maybe mistakes in there. I just can't see us beating Denver. I would love to, get a win on Denver is always great as a Carolina fan, but it's just tough. I don't have us winning this. I do have this as a loss.
Okay, so 3 things I have for this game. Number 1, I understand that the 14 wins that Denver got last year make this matchup look pretty scary, but they were not a dominant football team across the season. During the regular season, 11 of their 14 wins, that's what I was counting, came by 1 score or less. You can beat them if you show up in the clutch, which the Panthers do seem to show up in the clutch under Dave Canales. Number 2, the Panthers are always good for an upset like this at least once a year. And 3 goes for reasons beyond football, in my opinion. I don't know if you guys remember the last time we played Denver. It was in 2024 when the Panthers had just hired Canales and were still getting their stuff together. I think they were 1-6 at the time of that game. The Broncos were leading 28-7, and Sean Payton on 2 separate occasions attempted to run up the score. He faked a field goal, which did not work, and then he threw a double pass on 4th and 2, attempting to run up the score on the Panthers. J.C. Horn, as well as some other players, were clearly not happy about it after the game, and I think they're going to remember that and make the Broncos pay for it in this game. So that's my rationale. Let's go. 5-3.
You have us as a win.
Hell yeah.
Okay. So I'm the one that lost there. Cool.
Dude, if I could add a couple more things, speaking of that kind of stuff. Man, I really felt like, I don't know if this is the last game we played the Broncos in, but I'm really interested to see how this Horn versus Tan thing matches up again. I know they obviously don't play each other, but last time we played them, I thought, was it DJ Moore had a pretty big game versus Tan, and J.C. Horn locked down Cortland Sutton. It really had me kind of on the J.C. Horn.
Time before the
yeah,
last time.
Last time we played the Broncos, Bryce Young threw a pick right to Surtain.
Yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful.
That was Jalen Coker's coming out game, awesome. Pretty much.
Yep.
Dude, I'll say I don't think the gap between Surtain and Horn is as big as people act like it is. Right. I know that first matchup had me saying Horn's better than Surtain. I backed off that ledge a little bit, but I would like to see us try to move that needle a little bit more. I'm curious about how Jalen Waddle matches up versus us, because Jalen Waddle really put Mike Jack on he gave him some problems. We're acquainted with Jalen Waddle, but Mike Jack's gotten pretty good since then. So we'll see how that goes. And then also this is.
I thought about that too. Sorry to interrupt. I thought about that too. If the Panthers, in particular, if Ejiro Evero is smart, he will put J.C. Horn on Jalen Waddle and let Mike Jackson cover Cortland Sutton, who was much better at handling the bigger, more physical receivers like him.
Yeah.
So that would be ideal. Then that would be a favorable matchup to us as far as wide receiver corner matchup goes.
And I'm really curious about that because I think there's been a very good reason why we've been running so little man defense up till now. But now we're gonna have a real pass rush. I know we still really like our scheme where we don't show what we're running pre-snap and we do all this zone stuff, all that. That's great. But in cases like this, I think we need to be trying to run a little bit more man. So I'm curious to see if we finally lean into that for once. The other last thing I wanted to mention was that this is actually kind of a long week for us preparation-wise because of the last game Thursday being on Thursday night. Yep. We will have a little bit more preparation. So this being a home game and this is being a West Coast team playing in the East Coast, that means these guys get up way before the game. I think it feels like playing at 11 a.m. for the Broncos if they're going to go by Central Time or something like that. This is going to feel like playing 11 a.m., which means they probably feel like they're getting up hella early. I don't know how many hours before a game these players get up, but it has to be a good few. So West Coast teams going to the East Coast generally have a disadvantage. So that with the long week, all that stuff that we just mentioned, I do have us taking that way.
The Broncos also play the Chiefs the week before, which I would consider to be a pretty big game for them. So
yeah. So maybe they're a little gassed. Yeah.
Nice catch there, Logan. Definitely coming off, like you said, extra rest. Again, I got it as lost and I'm sticking with it, but that's a good catch. I could definitely see it going that way. Going to week 10. We play at the Saints, and I also have us losing this game. For some reason, when we go to New Orleans, we just, for some reason, cannot seem to get over the small hump that we always play there, and we somehow always lose. I don't think the Saints are better than us, but I definitely, it just is another division game. Again, and I'll kind of go back over this later in the schedule, but I just don't see us win this game in New Orleans. And I mean, Tyler Shough, he's a decent quarterback. We'll see. This would be 10 weeks into the season. We'll see how much he's put on film here. But I just have us losing this game in New Orleans. Always a tough place to play.
Yeah, I'm with you. So I looked this up earlier. Since 2016, the Panthers are 2-9 in New Orleans. Yeah. It seems like that's just our place to go wet the bed for whatever reason. As much as I hate it, and until that changes, I'm not picking the Panthers to win there.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is a game I will have some strong alcohol near me.
Yeah, that's fair.
Absolutely.
I've got this one marked down as a win just because, honestly, for no particular reason. I think we're going to split with the Saints, and I think maybe we just have a weird split here where they beat us at our house, we beat them at theirs. I think the fact that we've lost so many times there mathematically means we're maybe a little bit more likely to win this time. I'll say the Saints, they don't have the most high-end talent, but I think they match up against us really well to the point that I feel like I almost have to justify why we can split them versus the other way around.
Don't let Saints fans hear you say that.
It sucks, man. I hate it. I hate the Saints. I hate Shough already. I hate Kellen Moore already. But I think they match up really well against us. I think Shough is a smart quarterback. He's willing. He's very developed. I think he's willing to take his time versus Everett defense. He was not rattled when we threw blitzes at him, which I heard he had some trouble dealing with pressure last year, which is weird because it felt like he was completely cool under whatever we threw at him last time.
To be fair, it didn't really work.
Yeah, none of it worked.
That was an Evero special, that second Saints game. I'm getting mad just thinking about it.
Yeah. The Saints just upset me, man. But I think that we just have more raw talent. We just got more stars on our team. The Saints, it's hard as hell to find an actual whole player that you think you're going to pick on. I think they're pretty complete. I just think we got more stars. So I think we muscle this one out just in pure raw star talent and just get a little lucky. But, seeing as how I'm calling this a split, that doesn't bode very well for our next matchup.
Yeah. All right. Going into week 11, we have another tough game. on the schedule as we host the Baltimore Ravens at home. Michael, what are you thinking about this game?
I have a loss as of right now. This is going to be very dependent on how healthy the Ravens are at this point in the year. It seems like every year Lamar is very questionable by this point. And, what will probably end up being is if he plays, I'll pick us to lose. If he doesn't play, I'll pick us to win. So I'm going to assume he plays and pick us to lose.
Pretty simple. I think that's kind of what we're all going for here. Logan, what do you think about the Ravens game?
Man, it sucks because I'd like to disagree with you guys more, but I've got this one as a loss too. I will say this one was probably one of my more tough games to decide because there's matchups against them that I like and some that I don't. I think them being a run-oriented team is going to help us because I really believe in our run stuffing ability on the D-line this year. I do think our defense is going to give Lamar Jackson some trouble, who is really underrated as a passer, but I think is not immune to some confusing looks in the secondary. That said, he's just terrifying to play against. I don't know if we have the heat-seeking missile on our defense to get him down every single time. And honestly,
Trayvon Howard, baby.
I'm hoping he's going to have a big game.
That game.
Yeah, I wonder if we're going to have him, spying a lot more. We'll see. And I'm also not the highest on their defense either, but the fact that they just hired Jesse Minter makes me think they're going to get the most out of some of these players, and that's going to give us some trouble. So I think this is a really even matchup. Unfortunately, I just settled on it being a loss. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, absolutely. Going into Week 12 for our last primetime game of the year.
Andrew, did you also have this as a loss?
I did. I'm sorry. I did have this as a loss. It's the Ravens, and I'm kind of with Michael on this one. If Lamar plays, I don't see how you could stop Lamar if he's healthy and playing. Yeah. He's just hard to play against.
He's just terrifying.
Yeah, absolutely.
So just to make sure we're all on the same page, Andrew, you have us at 4-6. Mm-hmm. I have us at 5-5. Logan has us at 6-4.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's exactly what I have.
All right.
So, like I said in the beginning, we're all within a game or two of each other. So, definitely we'll see how we fare here at the end. Going into Week 12, our last primetime game of the year, we will be playing in Tampa Bay. Could be a haunting game for us. Logan, how do you see this one playing out for us?
Yeah, I've got this one as a loss too, unfortunately. I think we can sweep Tampa Bay, don't get me wrong, but I think it's a little disrespectful whenever you see guys say that they're going to sweep another team in their division, because it really means that you're just going to, little man them a little bit.
Yeah.
They still got plenty of talent, and as much as I think we match up well against them, and I don't believe in Todd Bowles, I think division games are weird enough, and they've got enough talent that they'll get this one at home. We went over reasons why I think we're capable of winning any single game we play against them. But I think maybe we lose this one in a close matchup.
Yeah, definitely so. Monday Night Football, I do have us winning this game as our, so far, one and only primetime win of the year. I have a split with the Bucs. I think we go back to Tampa after last year's game, ready to play. After how it ended last year in Tampa. Michael, I'm sorry you were at that game. But, I think we just go back. I do think we split with them. Again, it's another tough division game. The Bucs aren't as good as they always have been, so I see us split with the Bucs.
Yeah, I'm debating if I want to go to this game this year.
You have to.
But no, I have us winning as well. The Bucs have talent, but I think it's very much aging talent, and I think by this point in the year they'll be pretty well beat up. And I also think that there's a good chance that Todd Bowles has lost the locker room by this point. So I'm just not high on the Bucs this year, and the refs will not be there to save them this time. So I was winning and going to 6-5.
Nice.
That's a good point.
Nice.
I think the only other thing I'd like to throw in there, and not that I disagree, because that actually is a really good point. We'll see where Todd Bowles is at that point of the year. But the main reason why I think we lose one of these games is because I think the Bucs have a really good D line that matches up pretty well versus our O line. It's a strong line.
Yeah.
I think we're going to have a better time versus the speedier lines. like the Broncos. We'll see if that holds up. That could very well age poorly, but I think that at least one of these games they're going to create some chaos, and it might have us lose some fluky plays, maybe a fumble or two.
Yeah, cool.
Another thing too, don't forget Mike Evans is not there to go for 100 yards on a backup corner anymore.
That's right.
Yeah, hell yeah.
That's right. All we have to worry about is
Good riddance.
So, going into Week 13, we go to the north of the United States and we play Minnesota. I have us win this game. I just think they have too many question marks against their team. Obviously, they have Justin Jefferson, who you can never sleep on. But I do have us winning. Who knows who will be their quarterback at that time of the year? Could be Kyler Murray, J.J. McCarthy, who honestly knows. I just don't think that they're going to be, team chemistry-wise, I don't think they're going to be there. Unless Kyler somehow just balls out this year, which is very doubtful. This is probably, besides the Browns game, this is probably the only other game on the schedule that I'm like, all right, we should win this game. Definitely. So,
really?
Yeah, this is the only. I mean, they have a decent defense. Don't get me wrong, but I think they have too many question marks on their offense, especially at quarterback. And it all starts there for the whole team. I mean, who knows? In Panthers fashion, we could lose this game, but I think we should win this game.
Aside from quarterback, what questions do you see on their offense?
So, running back is iffy. I mean, I
guess running back.
Yeah, running back. I think their defense is what's going to keep them in games this year more than anything. But, I mean, like I said, it all starts at quarterback, and who knows if Kyler Murray is going to be good with the Vikings. I will say their head coach, he usually has quarterbacks playing pretty good. But it's definitely the second winnable game on the schedule that I look at besides the Browns. Like, obviously, a lot of other games, division games, are tough opponents. This is probably the only other game on the schedule that I'm like, I think we have a good shot at winning that we should. So,
yeah, I have us losing. I think the Vikings are a criminally underrated roster. Okay. With maybe the best coaching staff in the NFL. With Brian Flores and Kevin O'Connell coaching them up. Their wide receiving core is maybe like quietly the best in football.
And
they have Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, and Jawan Jennings. Which, this may be the one game that someone gets the better of our secondary. And I do think Kyler Murray is going to be at least decent with a good coach like Kevin O'Connell. Now, if J.J. McCarthy plays, throw this all out. But I'm expecting Kyler Murray. Additionally, we're going to be playing on a short week on back-to-back road games. So that's another factor. I have the Panthers losing and going down to 6-6.
Okay, Logan.
Okay, so those were some really good points. I'm thinking about switching now, but I have this as a win, and that's for two reasons. The first was quarterback, and I feel a little embarrassed by this now because I hadn't really considered, projecting Kyler Murray to a higher level now that he's got Kevin O'Connell.
Yeah, I didn't either.
That could really be a killer because Kyler Murray has a rocket arm, man, and we all saw how hard it is to get him on the ground. So if he's able to take that next step, that's going to be dangerous. That said, I do think he's had some trouble making the right decisions. And once again, I know we keep talking about Evero. I think a lot of quarterbacks in this league nowadays have trouble making the aggressive throws when they need to and making the safe throws when they should. I think Kyler Murray is one of those. I think that doesn't match up great versus Evero's defense. The question is, has he progressed now he's with Kevin O'Connell? He very well might have. The other thing is, I think this defense, it's something that Bryce Young's either going to explode. He's either going to explode the defense or he's going to be exploded by the defense because, Brian Flores is a very aggressive defensive coordinator. We should be expecting a lot of blitzes from a lot of different places, and I think Bryce Young has handled that well in many games in the past. But if he doesn't, that's a good way to get turnovers. It's a good way to get sacks. It's a good way for a lot of drives to be derailed. I just think they're asking a lot out of young inside defensive linemen. And I'm hoping our offense is going to hold up pretty well versus a blitz-happy team.
I'm curious to see how Bryce does in this game.
Yeah. Twitter's going to have a field day with this game, by the way.
Why?
Because if Kyler Murray's playing against Bryce, this is going to be the midget ball of the year.
Oh, yeah.
I had thought that either. Yeah, I mean, I have this one marked as a win. It's not going to surprise me at all if it goes the other way. This is a really good. There's a lot of talent on this Vikings roster, and it's in Minnesota, so we'll see, man. We'll see.
Yeah.
There's a lot of reasons the Panthers are going to lose this game. Like, I know people like to make fun of the Vikings because of J.J. McCarthy, but there's going to be a lot going against us entering this matchup.
It really depends, like you said, with Kyler. I mean, we've seen his highs and his lows, like way low. So I think that's why I picked this to win because, I mean, Kyler's probably going to start for him this year. But what Kyler are you getting? And that would be 13 weeks into the season. So by that point, and that could change. If we're 10 weeks into the season, we look back at this, I could definitely see us losing that game because I do like their defense with Flores coaching them, but it just depends on the quarterback. I really think that's completely what it depends on.
Dude, I'm going to stick to my guns here because I just believe in this team being talented enough to handle a good Vikings team, but Michael's got me pretty nervous. I'm not going to lie. The prospect of Kyler Murray with 13 weeks of Kevin O'Connell, it's got me sweating a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Well, we'll see. Going into Week 14, we're back at home in Charlotte against the Saints. Michael, what do you think about this one?
F the Saints. I have this as a win. They'll be outside in the cold in December. There's no way we're losing this game. If we lose this game,
burn the city.
Something bad is going to happen.
I have us losing.
We're not doing a podcast that week if we lose this game.
Logan, speak up and say that one more time. What did you just say?
I had us losing this game. I just have a split.
Yeah, you just splitting. I can understand your logic.
Yeah, that's fair.
Unfortunately.
That is fair.
I just think weird things happen sometimes, and this is my token weird thing to happen.
Yeah, I think me and Michael had us losing in New Orleans, so we both had us winning at home against the Saints. So, that's going back to that, just splitting with the Saints. We shouldn't lose this game, like Michael said. If we lose this game, burn the city down. And if we're this far into the season and we lose to the Saints, we don't deserve to be in the playoffs in the first point. So,
man, but that feels like something we do too, isn't it?
It does.
Like, what if we're like neck and neck with the Saints at this point, and we lose?
Yeah, this could end up being a very pivotal game. Honestly, depending on how good the Saints are this year, it could definitely be a late season division game, and this would be our second to last division game of the year. So.
The thing with the Saints, too, is the Saints start the year with the Lions and Ravens, but after that, their schedule's a cakewalk for 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
So they could very easily go start 5-2 or something and make this look tight.
Yeah.
So.
But there's
it's gonna be critical that we at least split with them.
Yeah.
Or otherwise, we're gonna be fighting for the division till the last week of the season.
Yeah, definitely. All right, going to Week 14. This is probably my third favorite
15.
game. Sorry. Again, my numbers are completely wrong. Week 15.
Count.
I'm counting. I have my numbers in front of me. I just forgot to put the bye week in there. Week 15. Sorry, Michael. Another home game, back-to-back home games in Charlotte. We will be hosting the Bengals. And Logan, I'll let you start, but I just want to say this is probably my third favorite game to pick on the schedule. So, Logan, but I'll let you start us off for this one.
So I've got us losing this one, and by my predictions here, this is when we definitely start sweating a little bit. Joe Burrow, man, dude, I mean, this guy's just terrifying, just like Lamar Jackson. I mean, the problem is, I think I trust him a little bit more dissecting our defense. I think they've got enough on defense now to slow us down. I think inside D-line pressure, it hurts any quarterback, but I think it really kills Bryce Young, and adding Dexter Lawrence in is going to be a big deal. Honestly, I haven't had time to go through everybody super deep. I'm a little bit under-knowledged about the Bengals, but I do really think Joe Burrow is going to give our defense a really hard time. I don't think there's any way to consistently stop that guy. So, yeah, man, I think this is another one of those kind of shootout situations where we just kind of have the disadvantage in that way, and I have us taking a loss, even though I know because they didn't have a super great record last year. A lot of fans had this one penciled in as a win. I'm not the most optimistic about it.
Cool. Michael?
I'll be honest, and this kind of goes for the Steelers game too. I have no idea what the heck is going to happen in either of these games. It primarily centers around Joe Burrow's health. He's a guy who's known, as good as he is, he's a guy who's known to be injury prone. So again, if I was going 1-1 in the next two games, so kind of skipping ahead there. I don't really know what the Steelers are going to be with a new coaching staff, and I don't know what the Bengals will be at this point. Between Burrow's health and just not really knowing what that defense is going to look like. I know they got some newer pieces, but they seem to always get better every offseason and somehow still manage to stink. So I have us going 1-1 in these next two games, like no science or logic whatsoever.
So what do you have this game? Are you taking this one as a loss or the next one as a loss?
I'll pick this one as the win just because it's at home.
Cool. So I have us also winning this game for the simple fact of, and I'm not underestimating the Bengals. This is definitely a game on the schedule that could be a loss by this game with their offense. It could be a loss by 30 points, and I mean that's probably exaggerating a little bit, but their offense is top 5 in the NFL. If all their players are healthy, their defense, they basically traded Trey Henderson for Dexter Lawrence at that point. So, I mean, they do have, the rookies and stuff coming in, so they may be a little bit better. But I do have us winning for the simple fact of it's late in the season. Somebody on that team's going to be hurt that they're going to be missing. Obviously, if Jamar gets hurt, you still got to play against Higgins. If Higgins gets hurt, you still got to play against Jamar, and you have Burrow at quarterback. But somebody on that team's going to be hurt, I believe, by that point in the season. They usually always are. I have us winning this game at home. So probably one of the other upsets on the schedule, but somebody's not going to be playing for them by the time we play them. Their offense obviously could, run us out of our own stadium, but their defense I don't think is going to do anything. So I do have this one as a win. So going into Week 16, we will be playing in Pittsburgh, and just a quick side note for this game, so far ESPN and NFL have this as a potential flex game, so depending on how good we are and depending on how good Pittsburgh are, this potentially could be our fourth primetime game of the year. Pittsburgh gets every primetime game that they want in these seasons. So, Michael, how do you, I know you said you kind of split this one, so I'm guessing you're giving this one an L.
Yeah, on the road, I'm giving us the loss.
Okay.
This game is going to be disgusting, regardless of who wins.
Okay. Cool. Logan?
Yeah, I've got this one penciling as a win. This was behind the Ravens, maybe the one I struggled with the most to figure out. There's a lot of talent on the Steelers. I just think I think their offense is built to beat some more man coverage and zone coverage, and we'll see how Aaron Rodgers is playing at this point. If he's got that kind of right off into the sunset boost, or if it's maybe as clear he's kind of had it a little bit. Defense is still pretty good. I'm not too scared of it, though. We'll see. I think we can handle it.
Yeah.
Again, though, it's a new coaching staff. I have no clue what they're going to look like.
Yeah, this definitely good. I have us winning this game. I know, Rodgers and McCarthy's, played together before, obviously, with him as his coach, but that was a long time ago. Rodgers is in his 40s. I don't even think he really wanted to come back this year, but I believe they hired McCarthy to probably get Rodgers to come back one more year, so like Logan said, their defense is still really good. Definitely not underestimating the defense, but it's the offense that obviously has question marks. So I do have us winning this game. But again, on the other side, like Michael said, this game could probably be really sloppy. So I mean, this game could be like 10-7. It could just be a weird.
Don't give Rico. Yeah, as long as Rico doesn't get his revenge game.
So
Yeah.
The next game, Week 16, we do face the defending champs Seahawks back in Charlotte again this year. I have us losing this game for the very simple fact of they brought almost everybody back except for I believe Kenneth Walker. So they're a pretty good team still. I just don't see how we can come away with this game with a win.
The Seahawks. This is probably my boldest call of this entire thing. Right now, I have this penciled in as a win.
Logan,
man.
I can't.
I'm sorry. Okay, At least it sounds like we just had a little bit too much agreement potentially. So at least I'm free to talk about it. I just think, man, I know this team is so good, dude. I just.
Oh, hello?
Logan?
Okay, good. He left, so now I can talk about why I have us winning this game. So listen, ignore everything Logan just said. Here's why we're beating the Seahawks.
You also have us win this game?
Yes, I did.
Wow. So I'm the odd man out here.
So, kind of countering what you said, they didn't just lose Kenneth Walker. They also lost Clint Kubiak and Kobe Bryant. And if there's one good way to get a Super Bowl hangover, and by the way, if you could figure out where Logan just disappeared to while I'm yapping, I'd appreciate that. If there's one thing that will cause a Super Bowl hangover more than anything, and the Eagles just learned this last year, it is losing your offensive coordinator. And I think I think Sam Darnold could easily see a regression. Maybe not like as bad as he used to be, but still like, not as good as he was last year. And not to mention like something that kind of went uncelebrated because of how the game ended. The Panthers held their own against Seattle, during that Week 17 matchup last year for about 75% of the game. Obviously, it didn't really end well for us, but that game proved to me that they're more than capable of, if that's the pinnacle of NFL football, if that's who, the Super Bowl champ is, like the Panthers can go toe-to-toe with them. And I think the Seahawks team will not be as good as they were this past year. And I think the Panthers are much better than they were last year. And I think they pull out the win in what should be a playoff type atmosphere. Cool. And my bold pick here is I think this is the game that the Panthers clinch the NFC South.
Wow.
Whoa.
And we have Logan back. Man. We have Logan back.
I'm sorry.
I just stole all your thunder.
He did. He went in on that one.
No worries, man. I'm glad. I'm glad you're able to get some points. Because we have so much agreement here. I think defensive struggles here. I think we're still going to have a hard time moving the ball, but defensive struggles can really just come down to who gets the lucky bounce. I think we get it this time, man. I think our defense can create turnovers against a Sam Darnold who's still a little turnover prone. This is another West Coast team coming to the East playing. It's going to feel like playing pretty early for him. So, I think we're able to sneak away with this one.
Fair enough. All right. Going into the last week of the season, we have a finale home game against the Atlanta Falcons again. I have us winning this game. I do have us sweeping the Falcons this year. I think as tight as our division will probably end up being, I think this will be a game that we cannot rest the starters or anything. Now, if it goes to another scenario like Logan said, we've already clinched, we probably could lose this game because we have rested starters. But I think this is a game that we're probably going to end up having to win, so I don't think we rest the starters, and I do think we sweep the Falcons. And I think it comes down to probably last week again, and we clinch the NFC South in Week 17 at home.
Kind of on the opposite side of that coin. I have us losing. I think there's a good chance we've clinched the division by this point and don't really need this game. The other thing, too, is, like I said earlier, like, I feel like the most likely outcome of Panthers-Falcons is that we split. And by picking us to lose here, I'm just kind of making the mature decision. Yeah. But if it's a win and you're in type situation, then like best believe I'm going to pick the Panthers to win at home.
Yeah.
So that's one thing that's really nice. That's really nice about the latter half of the schedule. 4 of our 5 final games of the year are at home. Which Bank of America Stadium this past year in December was like a borderline fortress. It felt like. So the fact that the fact that we have that for this final stretch, I think is going to be a big advantage for us. But like I said, I have us losing merely for the fact that I think we've already clinched the division by this point and are kind of looking ahead to the playoffs.
Cool. Logan?
Yeah. Okay, so we discussed what our win totals would be before the pod started, and I had said 10-7. I felt pretty happy about that. I'm looking at it now. I guess I flipped the game around because I did have us losing this game versus the Falcons. That puts us at 9-8. I'm not going to lie, man. I'm not super comfortable saying that 9 wins is going to be good enough to win this division. I really like us to get to 10 wins. And I think we may have to sweep one of the teams in our division. I think we can sweep one of the teams in our division, and if that's going to be anybody, I think it could very well could be the Falcons. So
Absolutely.
I'm 50-50 here. I don't like calling a sweep on anybody. I do think if we need it and it's at home, we've got a good shot, and I do like our talent matching up versus Atlanta.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess I'll swap it around with W and have a sweep in Atlanta. But I don't know, man.
I mean, talent-wise, we're the best team in the division. Like, I think that's not unfair to say. You know, maybe Tampa has us beat there when they're fully healthy, but I mean, across the board, I think we're the best team on paper. I don't think it's crazy to say we're going to sweep somebody.
Yeah, that's true. So why not the Falcons? No disrespect if we picked up any Falcons listeners from Falcons Pod.
Yeah,
I do think y'all have a very talented roster. I don't trust the quarterback, and if we gotta have it, and it's at home, I do think we take it.
Yeah, and they're catching us at a bad time, like in both games, really. I mean, them catching us week 2 in Atlanta, which is like Bryce Young's backyard, is a huge disadvantage for them. And then they're going to catch us in Charlotte week 18 when it's going to be cold outside, and where either the Panthers will be playing. Where the Panthers will either be playing for the playoffs or they'll be playing for nothing. Yeah. So, I mean, you know, big disadvantage Falcons, like in the worst case scenario for them. Yeah,
definitely. Real quick before we end it, I just want to go. So I had us going at 10-7, and like I said in the beginning of the episode, you know, I think at 10-7, it's definitely a record that can win the win the division. And get us into the playoffs for a home game. And I would love to see a home playoff win for the Panthers this year.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, you know, I didn't get as far as playoff predictions, but I definitely think that, you know, whether it's 9-8 or 10-7, like that should be enough to do it.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone else in the division is going to be jumping above that.
Yeah, and I will say, like, and I agree with that for the reason that if we get 9-8 or 10-7, I know it doesn't sound impressive, but we have to come out with some really big wins just to get to that point. You know, it'll be clear that we're a pretty good team if we manage to get 10 wins or even 9 out of this schedule. So, you know, if we get to that point, I would not be surprised if we make some noise in the playoffs. We'll see.
Yeah.
Somehow, I still think the schedule is easier than last year.
It's close. I think it's closer to what a lot of Panthers fans are putting it above last year's schedule.
I think last year's was significantly more difficult. I mean, because last year you started out on the road at Jacksonville and then at Arizona, 2 of the hottest places to play in football.
Yeah.
You played the entire NFC West, which is always a gauntlet. You know, at least here, you have a manageable start and you have that home stretch at the end. Really, the gauntlet of the schedule is week 6 to 9.
Yeah.
Pause.
That's true.
But yeah, that's really the hard part here. Oh gosh. Okay, yeah, that's the difficult part of the schedule.
Keep it going, Michael.
Nice.
No, I would definitely say like the harder games on this schedule, I could definitely see us winning more than some of the harder games from last schedule. I can definitely see where you're coming from that. Like, I see more reasons why we could win some of these games than we could last year. But this is also a better Panthers team than we had last year, too. So it's a little bit easier to see us winning harder games than it was last year.
Yeah, I think the keys here to, like, a decent season is, firstly, don't get off to a terrible start. Like, we can't take the entire month. Yeah, don't go 1-3 to start the year again. You need to get to the bye week at least 2-2. And then just don't get killed during that gauntlet I just mentioned.
Yeah. I think we have maybe less games that are just completely daunting that we're thinking we really shouldn't win as we did last year. But I don't think we have as many gimmies. I think Cleveland's really the only team that I'm thinking, we probably really should win that game. And outside of that, I'm pretty uncomfortable picking a win in any single matchup.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, guys. Do you guys have anything to add for our first official Panthers predictions for the year?
No, I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah, same here.
It's
same
12:20 on the East Coast, so we're calling it a night, guys. Time to go to bed.
Yeah, I think it's time for bed.
All right, guys, that was episode 10. Again, I just want to say thank you for everybody who's tuning in on Spotify or YouTube if you watch there. We're 10 weeks in, and I very much appreciate everybody that tunes in. It's been great so far, and I hope we have another 1,000 episodes in us. That'd be great.
That's like 80 years worth of content.
Yeah, we're gonna be 95, and maybe by then we'll have one Super Bowl.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that's very optimistic.
It's a lifetime contract, buddy.
Logan said that's optimistic.
Yeah.
For one Super Bowl in 80 years.
Yeah, dude, I don't know if I'm still gonna be. I don't know if I'm still gonna be a podcast if that.
Logan's having
all right, Logan's. Yeah.
That's a great way to end it, guys. All right, guys.
Have a good one, y'all.
We will see everybody next week. Thanks again for tuning in.
See ya.